were in a hotel very central to it, so we could sense all that. But I haven't got any major stories here because I was very focused as a player, and I was very always intent on never really changing my structure of what I did. So it was always a bit of focus and a little bit of your pre-match and your sleep, and don't get carried away. This is going to be the toughest game, our last chance to win the Champions League.
You think last chance? Yeah,
because at that time I was 33, I think. Didier was just about to leave. He was a bit older than me. We're all getting towards that's what a big bulk of the squad towards that side of it. So the day was really just full of nervous anticipation. I don't recall lots of detail within it. Being captain and all those things were a great honour to me. But I was just so sort of stuck in. Right, we've got a job to do here. And the most inspiring thing I remember about the dressing room was Didier warming up, because Didier was just like, he'd started to do this routine for all the big Champions League games, which in that run we beat Barcelona and Benfica and Napoli, and Didier just did this sort of 10-minute routine. I don't know if he was doing it for all of us, because it just looked amazing, but it just looked like an absolute mountain. And he would do running, then he would be on the wall and he'd do some things, and then he'd headbutt the wall or something. It was so powerful.
Really?
There was one of those, you just let him go on with it, but you keep looking at him going, God, he's right. We might have a chance here today. And Didier absolutely. And because as a captain, I think I was relatively quiet. I tried to lead by example. I wasn't a massive shouter. John was much more that natural than me. Yeah. So I was trying to. And when I saw that, I thought I better start shouting, because Didier is absolutely giving it loads. So, and that was what I remember of it. And then just the game was 120 minutes of pain, really. It was a really difficult game. We defended a lot. There's a lot of shifting across midfield and trying to get close to people, and got lucky in loads of senses during the game. And then the big man, because Big Pete as well. Big Pete, he gets slightly forgotten on the day because Didier takes the thing. If he doesn't save the penalty, we lose the game. So to win a game like that, loads of things have to go in your favour. You can win a Champions League and not be the best team in the tournament. It's the way that the Champions League is, cup competition. But it felt like the culmination of 10 years or whatever it was, of trying to... and then after the game, we just partied for a few days. Christine pulled me about 4 days after and went, "You've got to slow down."
Really? Yeah. What were the afters like then?
We had the big party in the hotel afterwards where the owner came. And Didier was playing. Everyone was in the pool on the roof they had, and went through the night. Then we came back and did.
Are you not knackered when you've just spent 120 minutes? Or does the adrenaline keep you going?
Probably adrenaline sort of gets you through it, doesn't it? And then we come back for the bus parade. Then there was another local drink and evening, and the next day, for some reason, I've arranged to go to a concert at the O2, which I don't normally do, and it was Kanye West and Jay-Z or something. Not really my bag, really. And it was the third day, and when you wake up on day 3 and you kind of go, I think I fancy this. I managed to go with it, and so I'm at the O2, and then I was out again after that, I think that was in the next day. Christine went.
Listen, Labs can have it, by the way.
Can he?
Yeah.
Good on a night out.
He's very, like you said, 150 IQ.
Yeah.
Like, the Latin and all that. But let me tell you, the fact, mate, he can drink. We'll probably end up cutting that out, but he's put me in the cleaners a few times. Because the thing with Frank, right, when we was on a night out, he'd be drinking and you'd be going, Then all of a sudden, I'd be like on a table with my shirt off, doing something stupid, and he'd just carry on. You wouldn't even know. He could do another podcast. You wouldn't even know. I've never even seen him wobble. He's unbelievable.
Love that. I think it's a brilliant story. I think we're getting some belters this season, aren't we? Did you feel, Frank, that you said that you got quite lucky in that one? It reminded me a little bit of the other Champions League final, and the fact that it went to extra time, went to penalties again. Did you almost feel you were lucky in one but unlucky in the other?
Yeah, I think we were. Against Man United in Munich, we struggled in the first half an hour. Ronaldo scored.
Yeah.
Then we came into it. I scored 1-1, and we were the stronger team after that. They were a great Manchester United team, really, really good and always dangerous. But we grew in strength through extra time, and then fate, obviously in a penalty shootout, which can happen, changed it. So I think maybe football has funny ways of sorting itself out, and maybe we didn't get it in that one. We got it years later, and would have loved to win in Moscow, but I wouldn't have it many other ways. Munich was so special, and possibly because of the build-up, because of the pain, because of how it had been. I'd love to have had more Champions League medals, clearly, but the night was so special that I'm not too concerned.
And I know that I've spoken to you before in the past, but it was one of the quickest answers of a previous interview I did with you, highlight of your career. You said Champions League final so quickly.
It was though. It built itself up losing semi-finals to great Barcelona teams.
Yeah.
The Liverpool ones, painful evenings.
Quite controversial for some of them as well. The Barcelona, I remember there was a lot of penalty shouts.
The Barcelona one was Liverpool one with a ghost goal. I mean, that feels a long time ago now. I'm not sure about that one so much. It felt painful at the time. Barcelona was ridiculous. It was a game that we clearly should have had a few penalties in, like 2 or so at least. And they were such a great team. That team was just on a different level. They're the best team I've played against by a million miles. Really? But so when you've gone through all that, it made the final that we won easily the best.
So we're in the tunnel now. You come down in the tunnel, you're lining up, and you say hello. I think I said hello to Joe Cole, and it's like trying to say hello to Lampard. He only goes and blanks me.
What? Blanks Big Meeks?
He absolutely blanks me. So I'm thinking, is it game face? Is it whatnot or whatever? So the pitch, as we're going out to the pitch now, I'm thinking, has he just blanked me? It was only last week we was together in England camp. I thought we was mates. So now I'm in my own head, aren't I? I'm in my own head. I'm thinking, I'm going to smash him the first chance I get. Honestly, the highlights in that game, it was about 6 or 7-0 to Chelsea. I'm at fault for at least 5 of the goals. There was one instance, I'm telling you, there's one instance where he gets the ball. I'm in my head. I'm looking at him. Like you're on the pitch and you're following someone around where he's going to be. When he comes into my zone, I'm going to do him this, that, and the other. He plays outside of the football. And I think I've got it. But he goes blindsiding me or whatnot. And Drogba just finishes it off. And
he got into your head,
it gets even better because it goes to match of the day. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to absolutely get killed by these two Herberts who I'm working with now. And luckily, you went for Javi Garrido, the left back, started talking about his positioning, this, that, and the other. So I got away with it.
Conversation. I want to start with you as a player. And there's a moment a lot of people will be familiar with. You're 18 years old, West Ham fan forum. Harry Redknapp's there and a fan's giving out to him about, he's let a couple of other midfielders go and he's promoting you into the squad.
Yeah.
And Harry says, Frank's going to go right to the very top.
Yeah.
Which, without saying triffy little player, is basically the strongest Redknapp endorsement that you can get.
Yeah.
First of all, just tell me about that moment, because I watched it before we started talking. I rewatched it and I see I was going to say you're a young man, but you're basically a kid, right?
Yeah.
At that stage. Tell me how it felt for you, that moment.
Humiliating from the fan perspective who was standing up. He was actually the uncle of another player that was a year or two above me, who hadn't got into the first team. Yeah, so he was. I don't need to mention the name, but he was an uncle of a player, and he was obviously put out that this boy hadn't made it, and I kind of got into the team. And that wasn't just him, because it was a bit of a current theme amongst West Ham fans. Some West Ham fans of nepotism being promoted because Harry was manager, my dad was a coach, and I understand that in simple terms. People kind of, we're quite cynical, us British people at times. Like we do look at the possible negatives.
Yeah.
So looking back with maturity now, I understand it, but at the same time, as a young boy sitting there with my chubby face and my curtains, I was a bit like humiliated and probably scared. I'm a bit like, this was a grown man sort of questioning whether I had the rights. I'm at the start of my career. I was desperate to be a football player. And I'm being, publicly sort of shamed a little bit. And then at the same side, the support of Harry was incredible. And I appreciate that much more now, because at the time I did appreciate it. But now I look back and think what that meant for him to say that. He put himself out on a bit of a limb. Thankfully, it came right. I'm not sure how much Harry absolutely believed it. And I'm not trying to make bad of what he said. But it was a leap to say that, because I had a long way to go to get to the top. But I think it was probably a little bit of him. Harry is a person, how he is. He'd defend his players as a manager and he'd defend his nephew as an uncle. And I respected that greatly and still do. And he's given me great help and advice and support all the way through my career. So that was just the start of it. But it's it kind of went viral a couple of years ago. It seemed to come out and everyone was saying, I've seen that video from so-and-so years ago. And it was quite nice, because it is a good story of my career, that I probably was the kid that wasn't the Wayne Rooney that flew out onto the scene at 17 and Michael Owens and these ones. I had to work I had barriers in my own way. I had some things that went in my favour. But it also, sort of looking back, showed that I had a few challenges there which I overcome, and that sometimes you can feel a big sense of pride of that, I guess.
Absolutely. I didn't realise that it was like Battle of the Uncles with like Redknapp versus this guy. But
yeah,
I wonder what it taught you about, maybe this is a bit of a reach, but like masculinity, right? Because you've got someone who you looked up to, you know, a positive role model in your life, and he's actually going out to bat for you, you know, and not just going out to bat for you, actually like saying, not only is he worthy of his place now, he's going further than this.
Yeah.
How did that inform the way that you think about sort of male role models and the example that you were setting at that moment in time?
Well, I think as you grow older, as you say, and you start to view things in that way, and you become a father as well, and you understand those things, and there are many ways to sort of protect or to be a role model and to maybe inspire. And I think looking back, as I say, I didn't realise it at the time because I was probably stuck in my own world as that 17-year-old there.
Yeah.
Just thinking, I want to do well. So I appreciated, obviously, the support from my manager, much better than him agreeing with him. Yeah, you're right, mate. This boy's going nowhere.
Yeah.
That was good. And now I look back and I really appreciate it. And now I'm a manager, have been a manager for the last 4 or 5 years. I understand what that means. Would I support my young player? Yes, especially if some grown man was having a go at this sort of kid as I was. So yeah, but I mean, it is a cutthroat world. We can't be too soft about it. And maybe in the modern world there is, I think players now have even more challenges with social media than probably I even had. That minority, whether it was the West Ham fans, now these things are blown up. That young lads have really taken a lot. And there's a balance for me of what's acceptable and what you can use as a bit of inspiration. For me, I use that as a bit of, I'm going to prove people wrong, and then it can go over the line. And I don't think I ever really I don't want to be the one crying here many years later about it, because my career went on. It went on from West Ham, it went into Chelsea. I had difficulties at England at times, and I went through those and earned a lot of caps. And when you can look back, you can kind of go, yeah, it's fine. It's part of the journey. And everything within the journey, you have, oh, that was a dig, that was a hit, there's another hit, and you roll with them, and then you become stronger for it. And anyone who's had a career like I did, or whatever, 20 years playing professionally and now managing, you got to get used to those things. So that was probably my first real hit. And thankfully I had a manager, a man in Harry, that was there to protect me in that moment and then go on to give me opportunities.
Yeah.
Was it more of a mindset that Jose changed rather than a philosophy of how you played?
For me, it was. Yeah. I don't know if Joe will have a different recollection, because I don't remember too many things in my game that he said, Frank, do this, and to minute detail. What he did do for me was set up a team that really suited me, and it worked for me because I had Makelele was son behind me.
Yeah.
I'd always been in a pretty flat 4-4-2 with Ranieri. Yeah. All of a sudden now I had Makelele, I had another midfield player. So I could do not what I want, but I could get involved deeper at the pitch, I could arrive, and that really worked for me. The rest of it was mindset with me. He made me, talked me up as a player, sort of dragged me up and tried with self-confidence.
I'm sure we was in the showers and he said to you, you're the you're the best player in the world, or the best midfielder in the world.
He just said it to me, as you say, as brazenly as that. And I wasn't, because at the time he said, people like Zidane have got medals, you need to get medals to do. And I'm like, you're talking about Zidane now. I was like 24, whatever, and felt nowhere near it. I think he meant it a little bit. As in, he could see the potential that I might be able to sort of lift the level and go to somewhere near that. And some of it was probably mind games, which I understand now, because I've been a manager. It doesn't mean it's a lie. It's not like it's complete nonsense to you, but at times you need to find the right way to motivate a player. And it's funny you say it, because I remember a couple of days after that, we played Celtic in the first game of that pre-season, and I had the biggest nightmare ever.
Really?
I had 45 minutes, half just to fill your way in, and I couldn't park, giving it away. I was trying things, because he said to me 2 days before, I remember going on the pitch thinking, I better do this.
I thought you were going to say the opposite.
So getting a Rabonas out.
I'll try and cross shoulders. I was trying everything, I swear. And I was
David Dunn Rabona,
yeah, it was like all that. It was embarrassing, right? And he never said a word to me after. And then I had a dinner with him. I think he was being given an award or something in London, like 15 years later. It's like not that long ago. And he went, "Do you remember that game you played?"
No, he didn't. Did he?
He called me on it.
Wow.
He called me on it. He went, "You were useless." I was like, "Yeah, I was," and I really felt bad about it, because you just boosted me.
Yeah.
So it was brilliant at that time.
Can I ask you one thing? I don't want to say this. Like Columbo.
Oh no, he's going to get you.
You must be aware, obviously, when you're managing, you do your interviews, and you do that thing where you laugh and then go serious.
Yeah, I'll say it. My daughter said it to me. I love it. I used to love it. Because
you're going to go looking for it now. No, I
Do you know what you're doing, or do you try? Or
I'm trying to stop it now.
Trying to stop it.
No, but I have. My daughter sent it to me ages ago. Like it was a meme, or whatever they call it. I don't even really. But now I've seen it. I can't unsee it. But I've done a few press conferences where I've gone. You do it, and you go, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Can't help it.